Dave with NAPCO Tech Support. In this video, we will explain how to set up scheduled changes and why you may want to use this feature. Both the concepts of scheduled changes and the programming of it apply to both MVP access and air access systems. Feel free to pause the video at any time if it makes it easier to follow along. You may have been browsing through MVP access or air access and noticed the scheduled changes options under events and controls and wondered to yourself, what is this for? Well, scheduled changes is a way to temporarily modify the behavior of a locked scheduled events. For example, if we go to configuration and then readers, then edit one of our existing readers and click on door control, you will see the door control schedules on the left. You can see here, I have this lock set up for the weekdays schedule. So if I wanted to temporarily change this to a different schedule for a few hours, I would use the scheduled changes option. You can also do this for other schedules here, as well as any schedules you may have programmed for inputs, relays, and links. You cannot use the scheduled changes feature to modify access groups. To temporarily modify access group schedules, see the chapter covering holiday calendars in our video titled Creating Schedules and Holiday Calendars in MVP Access. To program a scheduled change, go to Events and Controls, and then Scheduled Changes. Once on the Scheduled Changes page, you will see a blank page to begin with, but you will see the question mark in the lower right. If you click on that question mark, it will bring up the explanation on scheduled changes and the programming if you ever need a refresher in the future. You will also see the Add button up at the top. You create a new scheduled change by clicking on the Add button. After you click the Add button, you will be brought to a new screen. This is where you create your scheduled change. At the top, you have your description. This doesn't affect any of your programming. This is just for a name for your records so you can remember what this one is for. Beneath that, we have the Device to Change section. This section is where we will define what we are going to change. In this case, I have a net panel that I want to change from its current free access schedule to a different free access schedule for a few hours. So I will choose Reader for the device. I won't use a partition filter, so I'll leave that as none. For the reader, I'm going to choose the net panel since that is the name I have given my net panel, and that is the one I want to modify. Quick note here, it will show the name you have given to your lock or control panel and not the actual model number. Mine only shows the models here because that is what I have named my devices. Next, we move to the Field section. This section is for which schedule you wish to change. In our example, we are changing the free access schedule, so I will choose that. Now that I have defined what I want to change, next I need to define what I want to change it to. So in the Change to be Made section, I will set the new time schedule to weekends because I don't want this door to be in free access during the scheduled change. You can set this to any of your existing schedules you have created. It doesn't have to be any of the pre-built schedules in MVP or Air Access. I'm just doing this as a demonstration. Now, in the effective date range, you can choose the day you want this to start and the day you want this to end. For this demo, I'm just going to make this for a few hours, so I'm going to choose the same day for both. Once you set the days, you will notice something about the time. There is no place for increments shorter than an hour. This means you cannot set a scheduled change for any time shorter than 1 hour. You must enter in a whole hour and it must end with AM or PM. No 24-hour clock. After you have finished, click Save and you will be returned to the Scheduled Events page. It is important to note that this program is not saved into the lock. This is saved server-side and the command isn't sent until the scheduled time. So if your gateway, controller, or in the case of Air Access, your radio is down or cannot communicate with our servers for any reason, then the schedule change will not go through. This is also true for when the time comes to change the schedule back at the end. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about each thing you can use schedule changes for, but I will advise that you use our built-in help documentation for more information. Once again, you can get to this either by clicking on the question mark in the lower right corner to get more information about a specific page, or you can click on your login name, choose Help, and a new tab will open. You can then navigate to the location you want more information on. To make things easier, we have made the navigation on this page the same as the navigation on the main site. So in this case, you would go to Events and Controls and then Scheduled Changes. As always, if you need documentation on any current NAPCO devices, or if you're looking for more videos like this, head on over to our tech library at tech.napcosecurity.com.